Shalom, shalom. This Yair from GMS Savannah coming with another lesson. But first and foremost, I want to give all praise and honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Kakadash, and double honors to the apostles and elder bishop, great millstone, which rule well, teach well, and to the argument as well as the Phillips, pushing this 100% truth out of the Bible and sincerity while risking their life to do so. And salutations to the Hofaleki, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, as well as you speckled bird, which are scattered amongst the heathens that have the appearance of the heathens, but their father's seed line goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, also referred to as Israelite foreigners. But this lesson I'm going on to here is this video where the gentleman is talking about the Native Americans, man. A lot of people just don't realize, most of our people, Native Americans. A lot of Native Americans, that have been subject to being put as African American on birth certificates. Just straight madness. Just trying to hide a lot of the identity. First of all, we're not African American. But they want us to keep us dumbfounded down to not know who we really are. But we'll get into that in Psalms 83. They do everything to keep us from knowing who we are in the land that we in. This educational purposes, fair use. Play this video, and then we're gonna hit some scriptures, some precepts on it.
Tushkumak Shiluk. PM to some, Prime Minister to others. Director General of the National Association for the Advancement of Indigenous People. PM of the Ma'ipuri Arun Nation, man. Today, September 15th, 2025, I'm happy to announce that a historical moment in the American Aborigine movement has and is taking place. In February of 2025, the Ma'ipuri Arun Nation man filed suit on behalf of Dr. Malachi York's land called Tamaray in Georgia. We also, in that case, filed tort against the state of Illinois for constructive identity fraud and forced nationality. Illinois, like so many states, committed fraud by forcing parents with colored birth certificates to classify their children, their offspring, as Negro and ultimately African American. That was a fraud. That was a fraudulent action that was committed by the state of Illinois and its vital statistics, its health department. And it has been acquiesced and admitted to by the Attorney General for the state of Illinois. The Attorney General represents the governor and the state of Illinois in all legal actions. The Illinois Attorney General, we can say, has agreed to the fraud that has taken place. So this month, I will be joined by Prime Minister Prince Sar Armiel, Chief of the Wapunwi Arawak tribe, and founder of the Indigenous Edenic Hebrews of the Americas Foundation. He is also co-founder of what's known as Soul Vegetarian. It's a restaurant chain that was created in the United States. Prime Minister Prince Sar Amiel and I will be meeting with the state of Illinois officials to put in place the procedure to correct fraudulent identity birth records. We are not going to depend on their records or forms to create these changes. Because that would be equivalent to me being, as I stated before, that's like a skillet calling the kettle black. It's a deception. It's equivalent to the fox guarding the hen house. It's a trick. So we have devised our own structure for the reclassification of our indigenous people. And we will be meeting with the state of Illinois to address the issue and implement the process for issuing proper reclassification documents to individuals whose parents were Indian, colored, grandparents colored or Indian, but the children ultimately ended up as African American designees. After we approach and conclude the work with the state of Illinois, we will be going on to Michigan, Missouri, Indiana, Arkansas, Tennessee, Mississippi, Georgia, South Carolina, and other states, because the entire country followed the process of Walter Plecker and fraudulently misclassified millions of American Aborigine descendants, deliberately done to disenfranchise them, deliberately done to take possession of their land holdings, done to kill their identity, their history and culture. So I'm very, very excited that the state of Illinois has been caught in that action, in that activity. And I'm thankful that we were the ones to catch the state of Illinois in that process. And we look forward to working with and registering as many indigenous individuals in the state of Illinois as possible. This is a historical change, not just for indigenous people, but for Chicago, Illinois, the country, the world. This is the beginning. This is the beginning of massive change. Because a state, a government, a governor has been found to be complicit in forced nationality and forced identity. Thank you for listening to this announcement. I look forward to working with you. You can reach Maipori 340-513-5300. This is a public service announcement. This is an educational presentment to educate the people of Illinois and the people of the United States that fraud has been committed and acquiesced by the state of Illinois against indigenous inhabitants, descendants, American Aborigine descendants of prisoners of war. Let me be clear. Illinois is the first state to be sued for forced identity, and it will be followed by torts against Michigan, Missouri, Tennessee, Mississippi, Arkansas, Indiana, Louisiana, Alabama, South Carolina, and Florida, and eventually the entire country. We have developed an accepted process to correct the identity for millions of indigenous people who have been intentionally misclassified by the states of America.
And they just show you, that's how them devils do, They clumped everybody in as a color as African Americans, which we know African American is too It's two white devils that came up with that name. We're not African American. There's nothing African about us, man. We Hebrew Israelites. That's who we are. But that's a great thing that this brother is doing. You know, because it's giving awareness of us. The Israelites. So the indigenous Native Americans. You know, here in Babylon the Great. The Seminole Indian. The the uh, the Gadites, the Reubenites, and like I say, that's what the devils do. That's why it says right here in Job 9:24, the earth was given into the hands of the wicked. He covered the face of the judges. Therefore, if not, who is he? That's them devil sleazy, man. That's what they did, man, to change our identity, to keep us from knowing who we are. You know. And that's why you can go to Psalms 83, and it talks about, who our enemies are and what all they did to come together against us, you know. Start right here in Psalms 83 and 2, for lo thy enemies make a, a turmoil, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thou people and consulted against thou hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may not be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent, they are confederate against thee. The tabernacle of Edom and the Ishmaelites, Moab, and the Haganese, Gerbil, Ammon, Amalek, the Philistines, and the inhabitants of Tyre. Sir also joined in with them. They have, hopping the children of Lot, Shelah, do unto them as unto the Midianites of Syria, Sisera, as to Jabin and the brook of Kishon, which perished at Edor. They became as a dung for the earth. And it just talk about, hey, they say, who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of Yahweh in possession. And and it says, oh God, make them like a wheel as the stubble before the wind, as the fire burneth a wood, and as a flame settle the mountains on fire. And it just talk about, man, how these devils came together, man, to keep us from knowing who we are, man. But this is the Lord's movie, man. Sooner or later, man, these devils, everything they've been doing to us is gonna come to light. Everything gonna come to light of what they do, against us people. Micah 2:1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds, whom the light in morning, when the morning is light, they practice it, because it is the power of their hands. And they covered fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, every man and his heritage. And and that's what these devils do. They committed violence towards us. They oppressed us. and and even a man's heritage, man, knowing that we the Hebrew Israelites, man, that's what these devils have done. You know, that is exactly what they have done to our people. And you know, now a lot of the other stuff that they've been doing is starting to come to light now. You know, because like I say, it's a lot of people, you know, of color here in Babylon that are, you know, Native Americans. You know, definitely a lot of Native Americans. Like I say, the Seminole Indian, you know, Gadite, you know, Reubenites. Hey man, they put us all in one lump as African Americans, man. But that's what the devil do. You know, that's what the devil do, man. They keep us from knowing our heritage, man. But now we got people that's out there Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah putting the spirit on them to expose these devils out here. So it's beautiful that we see what's going on.